Yeah. So we are in our the next video where we are going to perform exercise 2. So this, if you complete, then your milestone 2 will be completing. So only milestone 1 will be left. And that is purely you will be drafting your theoretical knowledge, whatever you have gained. So you don't need to worry about the lab credit and then the number of hours, whether you still have remaining or not. So no worries. So by this, if you complete, your milestone project is almost done. Great. So now let's go and do this activity. Let's first create ADDS user group that has to be synchronized to the Entra ID. Fine. So now for that, maybe in the last session, we deleted the Bastion host. It is still under deletion, but we are not going to use the Bastion host to connect to this DC machine. So we need to enable, okay, let me close this. I'm here. So the other VM client machine is also created. I can close this and I'll go for virtual machines. I'll be having two VM. Let me connect to this DC VM and go to networking, go to network settings. So what am I doing is I'm enabling this, I'm setting some configuration so that I can connect to this DC VM directly without Bastion host. And for that, first thing, what you have to do, add a network security group and add 3389 port number to this group. There is some UI error. Let me bring it down to the other. Yeah, so now you don't have just some random errors. Fine. Now here, let me add inbound port rule, that is RDP, and say add. Once you have added RDP, next, let's go to the NIC card. Let's assign one public IP so that we can directly connect. So you will be having one IP config. There you have the private IP. Let's associate a public IP and say save it. It will take some time. Let us wait. Once all this is done, then we can connect to this VM. That's it. Still, it is updating the network interface. Anyways, we can check this box and say save. Okay, let me go and create once again. Sometimes this random error, you might be getting it. I don't think so. There is an error. Let me verify once whether the IP is created successfully or not. Okay, let's go and do that. Associate an IP, create a public IP and say add and say save. Let me wait until this deployment succeeds. Then we can connect to this and create all these resources. Great. It has updated. Now let's connect to this VM. Let me close this, go back again, virtual machines, select DCMEM, and get the public IP. And from the lab computer, you have to start RDP. Be mindful where you are connecting. Nothing will happen if you connect it from your system, but there might be some dependencies like copy paste and all will not work properly. So let me paste it and say connect. If everything is okay, it'll ask me the credentials, give the credentials like student and then the password and say okay and say connect. Now we have connected to our domain controller DCVM. Let us wait for some time. Once it is done, then we will execute these commands. First and foremost, we will disable the enhanced security for administrator with this Windows Explorer browser. Okay, let me create a new text document just for commands. I can paste it here and let me open it. Get these commands. Multi-line commands do like this. Take it to Notepad and take it back to this PowerShell ISE. If you have only one command, you can directly put it in the PowerShell ISE itself. But when it is multi-line command, do take help this Notepad. Fine. So now what we will have to do, we have to execute this command in PowerShell ISE. We need to run it as an administrator. Let's go to Start menu. Right click on PowerShell ISE and then more, run as administrator. Let us wait until it loads. Meanwhile, I'll go here, control, copy, come back here and paste it and hit enter. So that modification will be happening in the background. Let's continue with the next execution. Yes, as you all know that we are setting up this. So we have created a DC machine. Now we are going to add some organization unit users and groups. If it is online command, directly you can put it here. We are going to create an organization unit called toSync. Hit enter. It's created. One more organization unit. And that is also created. And next is this. So we are going to add multiple users. And this is multi-line. And also we need to edit password. So let me put it in the commands file, edit something, and then come back and run it. So this command will create 9 users called AD user 1, AD user 2, up to AD user 9. They are normal users. One admin user also gets created. Yeah, once it is copied, so this password must be replaced. Let us replace with PA55. That is SS password PASS or 55 W instead of O dot WORD 1234. That's it. So let's use the same password so that there won't be any confusion with the password. PASSWORD 1234. It means PA55W.RD. That's it. Now let me copy all, copy and paste it and hit enter. Everything is created successfully. No any errors. So right now, if you see the UPN name will be having adatum.com as suffix. And this suffix, we have to change it according to our Azure domain name. Because we don't have any custom domain name with the name called adatum.com. So we have to go with the domain name, which is provided by Azure to us. Fine. So the next thing, what we will do is we will create groups, AD groups, and That's the command. So this is also multi-line command. I'll go first, put it here, and then run them. We copy all, paste it here. Now we are adding some users which we have created already to the created group. And this is also multi-line. Let me go here. Let's say Control A, Control C, and come here, paste it. Yes, done. Now we need to configure ADDS UPN suffix according to our Azure. So for that, we need to run these commands. Okay, let me go for the first command execution, Control A, put all of them there. Control A, Control C, come back here and execute. So we need to wait. So when you get a message stating what you want to do, yes, you can click on yes button and this will execute this. It might take some time, let us wait. After this is executed, then we will go and download AZ module and install it. Then the next installation might take 5 minutes. Fine, this is a single line command. I can directly copy to the PowerShell editor. Yes to all. And I need to wait for another 5 minutes. So I'll pause the recording and I'll resume once everything is done.